What's up, metalheads? My name's Jamie. This is the Blades and EDC channel, and I was recently tagged in a video by my buddy JD for EDC. Check him out on YouTube if you aren't already. Give him a follow, or subscribe to him over on YouTube. He makes great videos, and also follow him on Instagram. Puts out some really good content there. Also has some really awesome knives. But he tagged me in a video titled 5 Pocket Knives for the Collection for $500, and there are 5 categories. The first category is your EDC knife. Second category is your beater knife. Third is a lightweight knife. Fourth is a hard use knife. And fifth is a gentleman's carry knife. And our EDC knives are pretty much almost the same. I went with the same one he went with, the AD20.5. And again, like his, mine has been modified, but I am going with the unmodified version of this knife. This is the 3V version from Knife Center with the shark's foot blade. It comes with Grivery scales, which are just fine, will work just fine, very grippy and lightweight. And I have modified mine, but I'm not including the price of these scales. I would EDC this knife with the Grivery scales, no problem. This knife is with the coated blade like this, which I would also want. This knife is $200 at Knife Center. And also, just so you know, we're not including tax or anything or shipping. We are just including the value of the knife. So this knife alone will take up $200 of my $500 budget, but I'm okay with that because I love this knife. And one thing that's different about me, that well, it may be the same for JD, but he didn't bring it up. My knives have to be fidget friendly also. I like to fidget and play with my knives. So this is a very fidget friendly knife. Probably one of the most fidget friendly knives I have, if not the most fidget friendly. This knife with the shark's foot blade, you know, it's going to be good for all EDC tasks, utility cuts, push cuts. It's just a great blade shape in my opinion, my favorite blade shape, and you're going to see a pattern among my knives, the 5 knives I've chosen. So yeah, so that's my EDC knife, is the Demko AD20.5 in 3V. Next knife on the list is the beater knife, and I went back and forth because I've got a few that I actually beat on, and I finally settled on the one that I probably beat on the most and use the most and carry the most, and it's a QSP Penguin. You can look at this knife and see clearly it is a beater knife. This knife is all scratched up and all beat up, and I use this knife almost daily. I love this knife. Anything I need, and this is not a hard use knife. There's a category for hard use. This is a beater knife, a knife that you would be comfortable having in pocket, using. You know it's not going to fail you. It's going to do exactly what you need it to do, and you have no concern about damaging it or beating it up. And at $32 for this knife, and you can catch these on sale for even cheaper, but on my $500 budget, I counted $32 for this knife. The Penguin is a staple in the knife community. Everybody knows about the Penguin. They are just fantastic. Although if you know, if I had to do it all over again, I'd probably get one with the coated blade, with it being D2 still. Actually, I have one with the coated blade. We will throw this one in instead. It's the same price, because with it being D2, you're going to be better off with coated blade. So same price for this one with the coated blade, QSP Penguin. I don't really need to say much about this knife, and it is extremely fidget friendly. The reverse flick and thumb flick are great, and I can just sit here and do this all day with this knife. It is on washers also, so it's not going to get any gunk. If it had bearings, you know, it's going to gunk up from being beat on and using it, and you know, cardboard or whatever. You don't have to worry about that cardboard dust getting in there because it's on washers. And I think the Penguin is a great beater knife. It's just a fantastic knife. I highly recommend everyone owns a Penguin. If you don't own a Penguin, you should own a Penguin, at least one. I have several. So the QSP Penguin is my beater knife. All right, next up is a lightweight knife, and this one I went back and forth with also with several knives. The budget thing kept getting me. I'm like, yeah, I like that one. It's lighter weight, but man, it's going to put me over budget. And then I settled on a knife that I'm about to get 2 more of when the drops come out in a week or 2, or the pre-orders get shipped out in a week or 2, and that is the Qvist Variant. This is not the most lightweight knife. This one's about 3 ounces. G10 scales. Oh, I should solely on this micarta scales on this one. G10 scales. you've seen a pattern in blade shapes here, like I said. Pretty good ergonomics. Actually, they're very good. They don't look like they'd be good, but your middle finger lands right there, and it just feels really good, and it locks it in your hand right there. Very fidget-friendly knife. The reverse flick's great. The thumb flick's great. Yeah, just a great knife. And $60 for this knife. It's hard to believe you get this knife for $60. 14C 28N blade steel in this one. I am getting one of these in black, and if that was here, which is the same price, the PE2, it also has a front flipper and a coated blade. And so if that were here, that would be replacing this one, but that one's not here yet. So when that one gets here, it will be replacing this knife as a lightweight, regular carried knife. This is a knife that I would have no problem sticking in my pocket, you know, with some gym shorts, or, you know, some type of lightweight, you know, shorts where you don't want a big heavy knife in your pocket. I would have no problem carrying this. It carries great with the deep carry clip. And yeah, this one was originally JG10, and I did Rit Diet plum color. It shows up black on camera, but trust me, in person it's a plum purplish color. So yeah, nice knife, great knife for the money. If you haven't pre-ordered one of these yet, when the drop comes out in a week or two, I recommend trying to pick yourself one up. And if there are not any extra available, get one on the next drop. It's like probably the best $60 you'll spend. These knives are just fantastic. They truly are for the money. Love the Variant. The Variant PE1, although when the PE2 is here with the coated blade, it will replace this. Keep that in mind. All right, next up is a hard use. And hard use is another one I went back and forth with, and that budget got me. It's like, well, my gentleman's carry needs to, you know, it needs to be nice, right? So I'm going to go with a hard use that's not very expensive, and I would have no problem hard using it. I know it would hold up well, and I would have no problem beating it up and damaging it, and, you know, destroying the blade and making it look terrible. And that is the Petrified Fish PF929. Again, check out that blade shape. You know what I'm going with here. This is a heavier knife. This one's over 5 ounces. I think it's closer to 6 ounces. It's like over 8 inches long. The one concern with it being a hard use is the tip, but as long as you know that, you know what you're doing with the knife, you're not going to break your tip. This is a D2 still. Again, you know, keep it coated and it'll be fine for you. Full size knife, very ergonomic, very hand filling, very fidget friendly. You got a flipper, you got the reverse flick, and you got the thumb flick. So again, very fidget friendly knife. And thick blade stock on this too. I think it's 135 thousandths thick or 132 thousandths thick. I'm trying to remember. Very thick, which adds to that weight. Very stainless steel liners. That was one of my concerns with hard use. Would I want to use a liner lock, or would I prefer some other lock? But in the budget range, this is what I went with, because it's only $35. And yeah, I would have no problem beating the crap out of this knife, and I know it would hold up well. Just have to be aware of the tip, and you can hard use it all you want. The PF929 by Petrified Fish. Oh, G10 scales on this, by the way, which feel very good in hand also. So that's something with hard use, you definitely want to make sure you've got something ergonomic and hand filling. You don't want a small knife. You don't want something that's uncomfortable, because you're going to be hard using it. You're going to find the hot spots real quick. And this knife is very ergonomic and very comfortable in hand. Feels really good in hand. PF929. All right, that leaves me with the gentleman's carry. And this is when I went back and forth and between two knives in particular. And I ended up settling on something that's very lightweight, which could have been my lightweight knife. This is even more lightweight than my lightweight knife. But because when I think of gentleman's carry, I think, you know, you're going to a wedding, or you're wearing a suit and you're going to some type of event, and you want a knife in your pocket that's not going to pull your slacks down, or it's in your inside coat pocket, or, you know, it's very unnoticeable. It's just going to blend right in, and hard to even tell it's in your pocket. I went with the Kizer Genie, carbon fiber version. super lightweight, very thin profile, but a fully usable blade, longer knife, but very thin in pocket. This thing is like 2.4 ounces. It's below 2.5 ounces. One of the most fidget friendly knives on the list here. Super fidgety with the front flipper, and you can reverse flick and thumb flick this knife. So all my knives have to have that fidget factor to them. Pocket clip carries very well and very deep, so it's going to be down in your pocket and not be very noticeable. As lightweight as it is, you're really not going to notice it. I didn't want a shiny pocket clip like this for a gentleman's carry. I wanted it to be more, low key and subtle, and I think this definitely fits the bill for a gentleman's carry, in my opinion. This is the type of knife I would carry if I'm going to a wedding or a funeral or something like that where I'm wearing a suit. This is what I would have in my pocket, I'm pretty sure. There was another one, which I'm not even going to bring up because that wouldn't be fair, and it was a tough choice between those two knives. But this is the one I went with, the Kizer Genie. And that brings my grand total to $495. So $5 under the limit. And I think, that's a pretty nice knife collection there for $500. Yeah, most of all of these are available. The only one you can't really get instantly is the Variant, but if you just follow Jacob Lundquist on or Qvist or Qvist Blade Works on Instagram and follow the drops or the pre-orders, you can get one. And then they're not expensive, like $60. So yeah, the rest of these you can buy right now online pretty much anywhere. So very available and all very good knives and very fidget friendly. All right, so now that I've done the video, I've got to tag 2 other channels, and the 2 channels I am going to tag are Zachariah Ott and JES Jasper. It's Jasper, but I'm trying to remember how he spells his channel. Bear with me. I should have had this pulled up before the video, but that's okay. We will find it. JSPREDC. 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 Yeah, these are 2 guys that have started newer channels, and they're I'm not that old. I'm less than a year old, but they're a lot newer than I am, and they're putting out a lot of videos and going over some interesting knives. So I'm going to tag them in the comments, and then they can, if they want, you don't have to do the videos. If you guys want to do the video, please do, and do the 5 for 500 in those 5 categories. And like JD said in his original video, anybody watching this video, leave a comment below. What 5 would you have in your 5 for 500 in those 5 categories? Pretty cool. It's actually a lot harder than I thought it would be to pick these 5 knives. It took me some time to really sit back and think about this and do the math, and I can't get that one. I'm going to be over the budget. I can't do that one. I'm over the budget. There were a couple knives that I would rather have in here. I'll be completely honest with you. But they just, put me way over budget. So, but I would be perfectly happy with these 5 knives. Nothing wrong with any of them. They will all serve you well. 5 fantastic knives. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button for me. If you're new, subscribe. Make sure your notifications are on, and I will see you guys on the next one.